All right, hello, good morning. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm not well, but it's amazing how what's it called? Paracetamol. We just call it Paracet actually in Norway. Paracet. Anyways, those pills gets you going a couple of hours. I find these streams to be like a good way to start my day. As I think there's like a lot of potential in the project to help like typically when I work on projects, it's been a very niche thing. And But this extension can help anyone using Git in any language in any project. So that makes me excited, and it's time spent, time well spent, time well spent. But yeah, so I started coding a little bit. So as I mentioned, there is a proof of concept of this. I know exactly how the experience should be. The challenge has been like finding the fundamental data structure to be able to derive this experience and give the functionality that's needed. And it was very helpful yesterday. Like I can't believe I've done 2 streams without looking at any code, just talking through conceptually how it needs to work. So what I changed is that this file name isn't there anymore because we have the file name up here, and that won't change, right? And you can't move hunks across files, so they're bound to this file. What I did though is that if it does have like a rename operation, it also has an old file name, and that will be on any hunk because any of the hunks can be used to actually perform the rename. So for example, if you have a rename on a commit and then you move one of 3 hunks to a previous commit, that should actually perform the rename. So yeah, so each hunk needs to reference the old file name if there is a rename. Let's see. So I started writing some tests, and this is where LLMs are amazing. Like I wrote the first test, and then I can just ask the LLM, Claude in this case, to just write more tests for me to cover more cases. And also for doing the initial proof of concept. That was also really great. But what we're gonna do now, we're gonna allow moving a change, and we're gonna do transposing, but we don't need to start with transposing. We can just first try moving. So let's see what it suggested here. And this file, the rebaser, this is gonna be responsible for basically it takes the branch, the commits, and then the changes by file. And that's something we feed into the rebaser as we start the rebasing in the UI. And then it is responsible for creating the correct structure. And then we're going, but it's not gonna, so it's kind of detached from VS Code. But VS Code is gonna use get rebase commits to build up the UI. So this returns the data structure for showing the commits and files and hunks in VS Code. And it will also be used to by another class that's going to be responsible for actually performing the rebase. I'm not sure how we're going to test that. I'm not sure if we even need to, because it's very straightforward how we're going to do it. But we'll see. So what the hell does this do? It brings in the changes. Oh yeah, yeah, so this is just wrong. So when we're moving a change, we're moving in a file name, we have a source hash, We don't have a source hash. We have the index. And then we have a target hash. So what we're going to do here, let's see if it understands this. So we're going to grab that index. And then target index, changes find index. Oh, it doesn't understand this. Okay, so we have our change. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so how are we gonna... So we should really just be able to do change hash into target hash. And then we should just sort. Changes, sort. Yeah, this is a bit complicated. Yeah, but it does what I wanted to do. So it should, we just change the hash of it, and then we're gonna sort it so that it changes its position in the array, like here. Like if I change this to C1, that's what we're doing now. Like changing it to C1, and when it sorts this array, it will flip these two, because C1 hash is before C2 hash. And then for the transposing, we're gonna keep a reference to the old index and the new index to transpose any changes in between these. But we don't need, as I said, we don't need to do that yet. So okay, let's bring in, let's see, let's do a new one. And let's bring in rebaser. Could you write a test which tests the move change method? The test should have two commits, where one commit has a modification to a package JSON file, which we are going to move to the hash of the two commits, where the last commit. Well, this is going to be confusing to it. Where the, like, because the first the last commit is the first commit in the array, so it's probably going to be confused by that. But it doesn't matter. To the hash of the first commit. Verify that that the hash was updated on the change, and that okay, we're gonna, can you write the test which tests the move change method? The test should have 3 commits. I think that's the best way to yeah, it needs to have 3 commits to actually change them, the order of them. But we can check that they stay, should have 2 commits, where the last commit has a modification to a package JSON file, where, let's see, where both commits has a modification to the package JSON file. Move the change on the last commit to the first commit. Verify that the hash is updated, and that there is no change in order. Because when we change the first commit, like the order shouldn't change, right? It's only when we, as I said here, if we change this to C2, it can just stay there. like it doesn't matter if well, that's the thing we aren't dealing with yet is but that's part of the transposing. You know what? We're gonna change one thing. So when we sort it, we are gonna do this index check, but we're also gonna do how are we gonna do this? We also need to how are we gonna do this? Let's use clone there. The sorting in this method should not only be by checking the commit hash. We also need to check the what's it called, the old start. And this is where I'm often confused by we also need to sort by old start on changes on same commit. I think it's old start we need to sort by, because you want within a file and a commit, you want these patches to be applied in order, right? By line. And that's important. Whatever, this is probably good. Oh yeah, of course. If same index, return old start, be old start. Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. Could you write a test which tests the move change method? The test should have 2 commits. Yeah, I'm just gonna write this and then we're actually gonna fix the test. I'm just very lazy. Because we want to make sure like the lines that it actually like one thing is testing. So if the first commit has a change on line 3, the second commit has a change on line 10, they will stay in place, right? But with this sorting, if we actually have a change to line 10 on the first commit and then a change on line 3 on the last commit, we need some transposing to happen there. Let's see. Oops, accept. So what did it do here? To equal. Well, let's see. So it has 2 commits. Commit 1, commit 2, and the file change. It references each of the commits. One, okay, so the first, okay, this is interesting because this one actually has, yeah, and it does the right thing. I think. Yeah, commit 1 hash, commit 2 hash. It should just stay in place in this case. Yeah, it should just check. It only checks the hash here, which is fine. The changes remain in the same order due to their old start. That's fine, right? Because this is line 1 and this is line 2. And it doesn't add anything. That's the thing. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't add a new line, so it doesn't change anything in that sense. Okay, so the next step now would be to start transposing. And I have the transposer here. though it's using I'm not sure if we yeah, and this is the thing, like previously in this logic I also updated the actual diff text, but I don't think that's necessary, because with the diff library we can just use a structural diff, which is this hunk, which holds like the information about line numbers and then lines, the array of lines, and that will never change, the array of lines. It's just where did it start. So we have hunk data here, and I think we should change this. This should rather be hunk. I'm gonna get that from. I don't think I'm creating a mutative. I'm creating a mutative API. It's just simpler. Like I really. Yeah, it's just simpler. So we're getting the list of all the hunks of a file. And even though a hunk it's called a file change, it has some additional information, but we only care about the hunk information. And then we're going to tell it where did I move it from and where did I move it to. Yeah, so the thing is that it's already been moved, right? So we're gonna actually get it from hunks to hunk moved moved hunk. Let's see. Yeah, and we don't need to do this anymore. We just want to change the start of it. We're not changing the length of it, just the start of it. I'm not sure what all of this stuff is. Oh. Well, new length? Isn't that a thing? Oh, new lines. It's not. Okay. New lines. Old lines. Old lines. New lines. New lines. Old lines. Cool. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna reintroduce the tests for this, because I think it makes sense to have some isolated tests for this. Let's see, hunk transposer. And then we don't need this one anymore. Like it's deceivingly simple. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we don't have merge overlapping hunks. We can't. Yeah, what did we discuss? We're gonna start by giving an error if you try to move a hunk. That's gonna sort itself into. Well, one thing I didn't think about with the mutative. The mutative approach is undoing, but I'm not sure if you actually want to do undo here, and we can still solve undo. So for every move, we just make a undo copy of the changes. So that's fine. But now let's only run only run this one, and then let's just comment out everything else. Oh, is that wrong? There we go. So it doesn't have old lines, new lines. What happened? Oh, okay. Should return same hung if from equals to. Oh yeah, sorry. We do have. Okay, let's just create our own thing. So we have lines. And what does this mean? We don't need it. We can just do this. And we should really have 2 of them. So this one does a modification to one line, which is like minus bar plus foo, or minus foo plus bar. And then we have another change, which is like on the second line, which is like minus, oh, sorry, old lines, 1, new lines, 1. Interesting how it actually, that's so cool. It understood how many, like, of course it does, but it's fun to see. Like, I'm changing the number of lines and it suggests the exact number of lines. That's really interesting. Anyways, so if it's moving from, oh, no test suite? What do you mean by that? Oh. Why do you say that? This is very confusing. What the fuck does this mean? Okay. Explain. Oh, new one. Explain. Why? And why am I getting this error? That's weird. Oh, my voice is completely. I'm about to lose it. Oh. I want you to describe the whole thing. Oh. The test file is not being properly compiled. Let's break this down. The test compilation process might not be working. The test configuration might be pointing to the wrong directory. That's not true. But I just ran. Okay, I'm gonna remove this one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, because I was using VS Code, I believe, to run the test previously. Anyways, so let's start actually doing something. Should not, if there are no line changes affecting, what the hell does that mean? Should not transpose if there are no line changes. Let's see, old lines, new lines. Lines. Oh. Private true. Okay. description, comma. Oh, what's happening here? Oh. Should not transpose if there are no line changes. This hunk adds. It doesn't add. Modifies the line. Should not run if there are no line changes affecting. I think what I want to test here is one of these lines should actually one of these hunks should actually change. Yeah, so I think we want to make this add a line, and then we want to move, the hunk. Yeah, we want to move the hunk, but since there's no like, since this is the thing, since the line is being added after line 1, it should still change the hunk position, but it shouldn't transpose this one because it doesn't affect those lines, right? So let's say old length 0, and then we're just gonna do this. And this will be old lines, new lines. Oh yeah, there should be lines. Moving up, and oh, sorry. So okay, we have to separate responsibilities here. So this should already have been moved. That's the thing. So we're just gonna change the order of these two because it's already happened that we moved. Oh, oh wait, this is not gonna work. I'm thinking about this the wrong way. This has to actually get. This is tricky because what we want to do is. It makes so much sense to do that sorting, but if we do that sorting, we're mutating the array. And the question is like, should there be like one function that both sorts and transposes? Because that's partly then it needs to know about the hashes. But I don't want transpose hunks to know about hashes. It should just make sure that the hunks actually make sense in their order. So this one should actually how should we do this? So what I can do is I can make a copy. I can slice the array before I make the change. And then I change and I find the new index of the thing I changed or the thing I moved. And then I pass in the old array. I ask it to transpose it from the first index to the next index. what I'll get back is an array of I'll kind of get the same array back, but now it will have transposed hunks in it. I think that maybe that's not the conceptually best way to do it, but we'll start there and then we'll see. So I still want this one to so I think this would be hung splice. Yeah, or we can do this. And then we actually do wanna hunks. Let's see. Well, I guess we can just return prev hunks, wood hunk, and next hunks. Let's try this. Yeah. Let's try this. So, did it fail both now? No, it should return. But we actually return something here now. So, let's see. Yeah, so this is fine. And what we want to do here now, we actually want to move from 1 to 0. And expected 4 to length of 2, but got 4. Oh, the length is wrong. What the hell did I do? Prev hunks. What the hell did I do? Fucking slice. Fucking slice. Prev hunks. Next hunks. Oh wait, this is wrong. Changed transposed hunks. Hunks slice. So this will be transposed hunks, and then instead of doing this, we're gonna return that one, and then we're gonna say splice to wood hunk. But for some reason it got 3 of them. Which one has the wrong? So slice is returns a copy of section for both start and end, a negative index, blah blah blah. The beginning index of the specified portion of the array, if start is in the blah blah blah. The end index of this is exclusive of the element at the index end. And then we're going to slice 2. So that means it includes, yeah, so this should be +1. What the fuck? Why does it have no deletions insert? What the fuck? I struggle so much with slicing. So what the fuck happens here? Oh, transposed hunks. Excuse me. There we go. So what's happening now is that it moved this one up here. But it doesn't but it didn't change anything, right? The old start and new start and everything's the same, which is correct, right? But so that means that you can imagine these hunks actually being part of different commits, right? So I'm just stating that so you can imagine I move this to like way up. Like this is yeah, so this could be like the same hash, right? These two hunks, and then I move this hunk to a later commit. Right, that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to move it up the array to that other commit, but it doesn't change anything. It doesn't need to transpose. I can still make that line change on the first line, and then I'm making this line change on the next commit. That's perfectly fine. But now we're going to make a move that actually does a change or has affects the lines. We're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna quit the stream. But we're really getting progress here, which I'm happy about. Old lines, new lines, lines. So old start, yeah, this inserts a line. I'm not sure if this is correct. Does that, if the old start is 3 and there's no lines added there, shouldn't it still be new start 3? Let's ask it. Does this change make sense? Should the new start be 4 or 3? I'm still building up an intuition for this. When the new start should be the position where the new line is inserted. It will become line 4. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's mind-bending, right? Because the old document doesn't have line 4. So, but that's how we insert line. The new line 4 is by starting on line 3. Yeah. Should be applied on line 3 as we're moving it up. That line does not exist yet. Exactly. So this hunk now currently depends on this hunk, which adds a line. So if we move this hunk before it, it means that this new line doesn't exist yet. So then we need to adjust the lines here. So yeah, let's just do the thing we did. Lines. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's just do this, and then we should have 21 and 22. And this one should just be the same. Hopefully this works. And it does. So now, when I move this up here, which actually means I moved it to a different commit, or a later commit, it adjusted the lines of it, because it used to be dependent on this one, but now it's not dependent on it. Oh, wait a minute. This is wrong. Yeah, it's the order of things. So, oh fuck. Oh wait, this is wrong. When we move up, we move it to a later commit, which means that, so the hunks will be applied in opposite order from what we, well, that depends. Oh, this is interesting. Oh fuck. God damn it. So, okay, let's think about this. Both of these are part of commit 1. And then I move this one to commit 2, which means that it will move in this array because commit 2 is later. But that means when we actually apply the rebase, we're still gonna apply this one first because we reversed the order. I think we should. I want to think about it that way. And then we should reverse the logic. So when we move things up, so when we move things up, it doesn't look at the previous. It should look it. We should just flip it around. Yeah, this should be the opposite. Like we should move 0 to 1. This is how it should actually work. So, yeah, exactly. So if we move this one, which adds a line to a previous commit, then this needs to be adjusted. That's what we want to test. So I'm just, yeah, it's the order of things that's a little bit trickier. So what we want to do when we move up, I think we just need to flip this around. So we look at next hunks here, and then we look at prev hunks. Prev hunks here. Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, hunk to move line changes. Okay, I think we just need to... Wait, is this correct? No, fuck, I'm messing it up now. Wait a minute. Should this be next hunks? Oh, do I have to use my brain? Fuck. Fuck. Oh my god. Okay. Do I have the energy for this? So when I move this down, what I need to do is, what I'm basically doing is that I need to look at the... Okay, let's see. Let's just bring it back to where it was. So moving up, moving down. So we are moving down, right? And what we're looking at, hunk to move, moved hunk line changes, moved hunk line changes. So we're, yeah, this is actually correct. I think this is actually correct. Let's look at the result. Find this a bit weird. The result is, so it hasn't transposed the next chunks for some reason. But it does have the mood. Let's see. Next chunks dot length. Oh, it's 0. Well, this is weird. I'm doing something wrong here. Because now I'm moving. Now it doesn't include the next chunks. Wait a minute. Prev hunks? That shouldn't be anything now. Yeah, exactly. Wait, what the fuck is happening here? This should be 2. Yeah. But now does the other one fail? No, everything works. Ah, that's weird. Anyways. Moving down. Cool. That's what we wanted. Okay, I'm gonna stop streaming. And then we're gonna just continue fixing these tests. I guess it's just one more. So this one should move hunks down. And this will be should move hunks up. Yeah, but now we have the right mental image of how these hunk changes relates to commit SHAs, moving through commits. So we should be pretty good, I think. Okay, I think, yeah, let's try to do another stream tomorrow morning. And then with my new setup at home, I can actually do coding on my spare time again. Like, it's not much, like the kids require attention, but I find moments where I can like do some progress, so that's good. Nice. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this. Like, it's very clear to me how this is gonna work. And I've also validated with my colleagues who actually does manual rebasing now that they find it. So I've kind of validated with both existing like manual rebasers and also people who doesn't do interactive rebasing. But like, everybody has feelings about PRs, right? That they don't tell the story you want to tell. That making code changes is not about sitting down and planning and implementation. It's exploration. That's how we code. We're exploring towards a final result. And only when we're at the final result, we know the path we would have taken to get to that result. And being able to just tell that story by having complete freedom of moving things around in a logical way, but still not be restricted by any like specific rules, except overlapping hunks. Yeah, that one's gonna be interesting to see if we can make that one just as like free feeling like the rest. But yeah, let's see where we get with this. Okay, bye for now.